You're talking to me about what?
Well, we were hoping to set up some time in the future to discuss planning and investments.
I'm on the phone with you.
If you're not looking to do that anymore.
No, I'm on the phone with you now, and I'm all ears. So what do you got for me?
Well, that's not my role is not to help out with that and have those conversations. I'm just able to help out with his calendar to do that.
So let's say that we all talk to Dido. What if Dido's got Dido 4? And then Dido 5, when he gets me on the phone, then there's Dido 6. How do I know that you really work at Fidelity? Because your level of incompetence goes to actually me worrying about, like, do I need to take possession of my securities? Because my securities at brokerage firm number 13, I'm insecure. What's your address? And this is an interrogation. What address at Fidelity do you sit at?
So I actually am one of our central relationship managers. So I actually work out of Covington, Kentucky.
You don't know your address in Naperville. Like, do you see how brokerage account number 13 with a non-identifier? Like, do you see how, like, high net worth individuals begin to worry? I mean, you don't know your own address? What address in Kentucky are you?
It's at Freedom Drive is the Naperville address branch.
Okay, what level of confidence do you think that what is my name?
So I have your name here is Thomas Chung.
Okay, so, like, at least you got the name right. So congratulations. So what do you guys want to talk about? Because you said two words that were like air and water. What were those two words?
So we're looking to discuss planning.
Okay, air, and what was the second one that was like water?
I mentioned investments.
Planning and investments, air and water. I get it now. What level of knowledge do you think it's going to be between the mentor and the mentee? So you're teaching me something, right? That would make me the mentee. But right now, am I kind of teaching you? Or are you teaching me right now? Or do you know the difference?
Well, sir, I don't want to insult you. I really am not trying to do that. I'm just trying to...
I don't think you're insulting me, but I'm asking simple questions. And if this meeting in the future is going to be void of simple questions and answers, so I'm asking you, who in this situation is the mentee and who is the mentor? Or do you know the difference between the two? Now I'm insulting you.
I do know the difference between a mentee and a mentor.
Okay, so who is whom? And notice that that's grammatically correct, because even though I went to a crap college, okay, like, my SAT score is perfect. I just had to go to a crappy school to play a sport. So in this situation...
Where did you go to school?
In this situation, I'll answer that. In this situation, okay, I taught at Stanford. In this situation, who is mentoring whom?
Well, we would hopefully be able to help you.
You would hopefully be able to. But in this phone conversation, who's been helping whom? You can't answer simple questions. Answer.
I would be helping you by setting an appointment with Vito.
In this phone conversation, fifth ask. In this phone conversation, who has been helping whom?
My goal is to
I didn't ask you for your goal. I didn't ask you for your goal. I asked you a simple question. Sixth time. In this conversation, who is the mentor and who is the mentee? Because if this is how you're going to talk about air and water and planning and investments, this is literally how a certain gender of our Homo sapien race exists, which is just talking and then egalitarian at all costs and mentoring without a body of work and not listening with clear answers to questions. So again, eighth ask, who's been the mentor in this phone conversation and who's been the mentee?
Sounds like you have been the mentor.
According to whom? Not you, or according to whom?
To me.
What have you learned in this phone conversation?
I've learned that you don't want to set some time up with Ego.
That's not true. I can learn from incredibly low intelligence, low net worth individuals. In fact, look at my portfolio. You are holding brokerage account number 11. That's my turd money. That's my slush fund money. So what are my positions? You see them, right? If you work at Fidelity. You said you worked at Fidelity, right? But you don't have an address.
I do.
What's the address that you work at?
So I'm actually, with COVID, I'm working from home. But the address of the Fidelity branch is Freedom Drive.
Do you have a zip code?
Yes, it's 60563.
Good, because I had the zip code for Fidelity. What are my securities and account positions? You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it aloud, but like, what do you see that's eye popping and weird?
So I see a lot of individual holdings, individual stocks.
Am I going to have to ask a question 8 times before I get you're the mentor? What do you see that is an aberration from the norm? Look at today's growth. If you really work at Fidelity, okay? Look at today's growth. Like, what am I at? How much am I up right now?
Let me double check that. You are up around 60,000 today.
That's actually a bad day, right? Like, are you thinking that I can make more than that? Like doing air and water and planning and investment? And that's what some people make in a year, right? Long-term cash gain excluded. 70% tax rate excluded. What in my portfolio can you learn from that I can explain to you? Because if you're going to tell, you and Dido are going to talk to me in the future, I need to learn, I need to get a scouting report for how well you learn, right? Because if you didn't learn from somebody else, how are you going to teach me, right? So what in my portfolio seems like I've, air quotes, found alpha? You know, alpha like alpha.
I see a lot of ANC.
What do you think's going on with that situation?
I think there's a lot of people that
what do you
don't really know, including myself.
Do you think I know what's going on? So the answer to your question is the turd college that
I've not asked you.
The turd college that what? You didn't ask what?
You said that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Did you forget? You forgot that you asked, right? I went to the University of Illinois. I studied engineering.
Okay.
Yeah. So you did ask before and you forgot, but good job correcting yourself. What do you think is going on with American Movie Corporation? Do you have any of that in your own portfolio? Do you even buy stocks?
It's not really about me.
Okay, so you own zero. That's fine. Do you know what's going on, though, with AMC so that way you can better advise? Because you're in the advice business. So is there anything about AMC that I can answer for you to wow you with my 100,000 hours of expertise?
Should I buy AMC?
That is not... I can only deal in probabilities, okay? I can't deal in certainties. Next question about AMC. That's a good answer, isn't it?
That is a pretty good answer.
Thank you. That's a good answer, okay? To actually a bad question, but I'm just letting you warm up because that's just question number one. In this phone call, okay, I might be taking paper notes on, and I don't need your permission because I'm allowed to take paper notes. But I was afraid you're going to...
Paper notes, but I will have to hang up here shortly because I do have other calls I need to do.
Spittles. Spittles. Spittles.
Sorry, sir.
You don't have to be sorry. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in this phone conversation.
You have been very interesting. I will say that.
I've learned actually a lot in this phone conversation. Do you have a next question before I let you go?
No, I do not.
You just had the one. That one question, okay, it was horrible. Because it shows how you compile information and learn. Where did you go to college? What 4-year degree are you 7 years short of? Where'd you go to college?
I went to the University of Cincinnati.
That's a great college. Did you graduate like a couple years ago too? Legit?
I did.
What did you study?
I studied finance.
Do you know that right now this is just like do you watch, what's your favorite sport? Or if you like chess, or what's your favorite? Okay, perfect. How many people play on a soccer team? Is it 11?
On a soccer team, the field is 11.
So this is the situation where your 11 guys are better than my 11 guys, but I'm beating you, my stock portfolio to your stock portfolio, where you own zero AMC, even though you're more talented than I am, because University of Cincinnati is a better program, and you studied finance. I only have a engineering degree, which isn't even related to finance, right? Or is it? Anyway, I don't want to ask that question 8 times like I had to for the air and water situation. But yeah, have Dido text me, and then it's probably better to talk via text is the best route.
Okay.
All right, be well.
Great. You have a good rest of your day, man.
You too.